How's it going? You clicked on this video and you want to learn how busy men lose 20 plus pounds and gain lean muscle without having to give up foods they love and without spending hours in the gym. This is me here before, this is me here after. So let's get into it. But firstly, who am I? I'm Tyson Sparks. I'm an electrician, construction worker. I'm an online fitness coach. I have built a pretty good physique myself, I would say. And now I'm trying to help other people figure out how to do the same thing. How can they lose weight and work a busy job at the same time? But anyways, here I am over here, first started lifting, pretty skinny guy, no confidence whatsoever, being bullied for being skinny, all that stuff, you know. Decided it's time for a change, bulked up, gained a good amount of muscle, gained a little bit of fat, but I'd say mostly muscle. This is about a year or two, probably about 2 years here is when this picture was taken. I was probably 17, 18 in this picture, bulked up, you know, got a pretty good physique. But then life happened. I started working my construction job, didn't have my diet dialed whatsoever, stopped lifting, stopped going to the gym, pretty much just completely fell off the rails. I mean, it wasn't good. I mean, you can see in this picture here, I'm obviously not very comfortable in my body. Like, I went to the beach this day, it's a picture of me being sunburnt, and that entire day I was at the beach, I just felt uncomfortable in my own body. And no human should feel uncomfortable in their own body, right? Like, obviously, I'm not looking good here. I am depressed. I'm not eating good. Mentally, I'm not good. All that stuff. I started locking in. I started going to the gym again. I started taking my diet seriously. I started meal prepping. And over about a year or so, I went from this to this. You know, I had a little bit of muscle there, obviously, but I just shaved off the fat and made the muscle much more prominent in pictures like this in the way I look now. Here, obviously, have a good bicep separation, good ab separation, pretty lean, probably around 11-12% body fat. But yeah, that's kind of my story. Started out as a skinny guy, got pretty big, lost myself, got into some bad habits, and now I'm back on her again. I'm in the best shape of my life, and honestly, I couldn't be more proud of myself. But anyways, back for busy men losing 20 plus pounds. Who have I created this programming for? I've created it for people who work 40 plus hours a week, like myself, want to lose weight without spending hours in the gym. We don't have time for that. Want to build muscle and confidence while still enjoying life. We want to have a good work, gym, life balance. We want to be able to go to work, have our work done. We want to go to the gym, you know, eat okay, or eat somewhat good, and still have a social life, still have a lifestyle. And then lastly, tired of trying to get results but end up quitting and restarting. The amount of times I see people try to lose weight or try to get, you know, more muscle on their frame, but then they end up just falling off a few weeks later and then quitting. And then they repeat that cycle. They get the motivation, they start doing it, and then they fall off. We don't want that. Here's a couple of transformations we've had. We've had Danny here. He had quite a bit of body fat on his frame, not very confident in his physique whatsoever. Ready for the change. He made that change. This is about a 1 year transformation. He went from pretty high body fat percentage guy to a really lean guy. And he did all of this while going to school to be a cop. And this is him now. I think he's actually completed his training to be a cop. So yeah, he's had some pretty good progress. Then this is Will over here. He started out as a skinnier guy, kind of like me. And then we bulked him up from 140 or 130s to about 160, 170 with much more muscle on his frame, looking great now, you know, got him locked in. On to the next. What is the biggest problem working men face? Number one is going to be training without structure. They don't really know what to do, and they don't have a whole lot of time to do it. So they might just go into the gym, or they might just go for a run expecting that it's going to do something. But if you're not training right, and if you're not pairing it with the right nutrition, it's not going to get you anywhere, okay? And secondly, it's just limited time. We're always on the go. We're stopping to get gas station food. We're stopping to get fast food, all that stuff. And the last thing we want to do when we get home after a long day is have to worry about what to make to eat and going to the gym, having to work out for a long time, all that stuff. We don't have time for that. And thirdly, it's just poor nutrition planning. Like, most of us do not have a nutrition plan at all. Most blue-collar workers or just busy men in general, they don't have a nutrition plan. They just kind of eat whatever they want to eat, whenever they want to eat. They don't have any plan around it at all. So having a good nutrition plan is one of the biggest things to having a solid physique, especially if you're a busy person. How am I different? How am I going to help you reach your goal physique better than other fitness coaches per se. Most programs expect you to live in the gym, tell you to cut out your favorite foods, leave you on your own after week 1, and focus only on losing weight. Me, I have built this plan specifically for busy men like myself and you. Lose fat while still eating foods you enjoy. And that is one of the biggest things. It's going to be hard for you to stick to a diet if you are not eating foods that you enjoy. I don't believe in that whatsoever. You should be able to eat and look good at the same time. And we got personalized nutrition and planning around your weight, your goals, your lifestyle, all of that stuff, along with weekly check-ins and unlimited support. Weekly check-in, usually on the weekends or on a Friday. You can text me, call me any time of the day, all that stuff. I'm here to help you. I'm not here to just give you something and run off. Even after the program ends, you could still probably hit me up and I'll still be there to help you. And then lastly, instead of focusing only on weight, we're going to build muscle, confidence, and habits that last. So at the end of this, say 6 months per se, we are going to hopefully have you in a spot where you have built the habits and lifestyle to continue this for the rest of your life and maybe even pass this down to your kids. But yeah, that's the main goal. We don't want you to be falling back into unhealthy habits and unhealthy lifestyles and going back to that person you were before. So I believe there are 4 main things into getting a successful transformation. Number 1 is going to be the gym. Number 2 is going to be nutrition. Number 3 is going to be habits. And number 4 is going to be mindset. All 4 of these tied together is the recipe for a successful transformation. Number 1, training or the gym. We're going to focus on progressive overload. Train with intention, not just go there and sweat and say you went to the gym to make yourself feel good. We're going to go there with intention to reach our goals. And then focusing on getting stronger over time, either doing more weight or more reps over time to make sure that you're actually progressing, because if you're not doing more weight or you're not doing more reps, you're not actually going to be progressive. You're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. And then obviously prioritize compound movements, always good for your body. And then lastly, it's going to be recover properly to maximize muscle growth. Getting good sleep, getting an adequate amount of protein in, having proper rest days if you need them, maybe even taking a break if you feel sore, stuff like that. On to the next, nutrition, calorie balance and protein. If you are trying to lose weight, you need to be eating in a calorie deficit to lose weight. That's the only way to lose weight. Secondly, prioritize protein to preserve muscle. If you're in a calorie deficit, you want to be eating enough protein to be having protein synthesis conversion higher than muscle protein breakdown. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of that muscle while you're losing that weight. A lot of people don't realize that, and that is why you see some of those people, especially in Hollywood, where they lose a lot of weight and then they just kind of look dead afterwards. And then choosing mostly whole foods while leaving room for foods you enjoy. We're going to prioritize whole foods, but also give you room to have that occasional snack here and there, once a week, once every few weeks, stuff like that. And then lastly, consistency beats perfection. Being consistent over a longer period of time rather than trying to be perfect and then not being perfect and then you just quitting is much better than trying to be perfect. And now on to habits. Consistency over motivation. Create routines that fit your lifestyle. Meal prep and plan ahead. Track your progress. Small actions repeated daily create massive results. So like I said, it's not about being perfect. Motivation is going to come and go. But if you have habits and routines in your life that help you stick to your diet and training better, obviously that's great. So what routines or habits could that be? That could be, grocery shopping on Sunday for the food you need for the week. Having set times you eat during the day, whether it's 8, noon, 6 p.m., all that stuff. Meal prepping on the days that you don't lift or days you have more time. Fit that into your schedule. And then tracking your progress is something that people completely underestimate. You should be able to look at a picture from yourself 6 months ago or even a month ago and be like, wow, I look way better. I have improved on so many things, whether it's your body or it's just, your habits or your life in general. Now we're on to mindset. This kind of deals with the habits we were talking about, but it's a little bit more in depth. So we're going to go for long-term thinking. Stop chasing quick fixes. Focus on sustainable progress. Learn from setbacks instead of quitting, and build an identity around being healthy. So when I say build an identity around being healthy, that doesn't mean you have to change everything about your life. You can still have a good social life and do things you like, but you can also be healthy at the same time. And up to stop chasing quick fixes, there's no certain diet, there's no certain exercise, there's no magic pill that is going to make you lose weight and get shredded. It's just consistency over a longer period of time. So you need to stop worrying about that one fix that's going to get you there and just focus on all the smaller things over a longer period of time that's going to help you get to your goal physique. And with that, learn from the setbacks instead of quitting. Say you have an injury or say you get sick, something like that, something comes up, something happens, or you're not losing the amount of weight that you want to be. Just look at it, see like, okay, maybe I'm sick, I just take a few days off. Or you're not seeing the scale go down as much as you would like. It's okay, just look at it and try to fix the problem, or like I said, just take a little bit of time off, or ask me for help, and we will get it figured out. Okay, now that we have those 4 pillars down, why would you do all those things to make that change for yourself? Well, one is going to be confidence. You can stop avoiding mirrors and start feeling proud of the person looking back at you. Another is going to be freedom. You can eat without guilt, enjoy life, and stop letting your weight control your confidence, along with the first one. And another is longevity and just the health aspect of it. Live longer, feel better, avoid the health problems that come with neglecting your body, be there longer for your kids, all of that stuff. Do you want to be the person where people look at and they're like, oh, he's just an average guy, or oh, he's an overweight guy? Or do you want to be that person that walks in the room and people automatically go, wow, and demand respect from everybody? Just some things to think about. Okay, so you've made that commitment. You want to change. What would I do first? Phase 1, build your foundation. Before anything else, calculate your total daily energy expenditure, TDEE, to determine how many calories your body burns each day. So if you're trying to lose weight, you'll calculate your TDEE. You'll eat 300 to 500 calories less than that. If you want to maintain that weight, you would eat that exact amount of calories. If you'd want to gain weight, you would eat that calories plus 300 to 500 roughly. And with that, I would help you figure out your macronutrient ratios. Generally, it's protein 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. This is going to help you gain that muscle, maximize recovery, and it's also going to help you feel more full when you're eating more protein. And then for fat, you're going to eat 0.3 to 0.5 grams a pound of body weight. This is going to help support your hormones. It's basically the only thing that supports testosterone. It's going to help you with your health, feeling better, brain fog, all that stuff. It's going to help with your joints, all that good stuff. And then once we have these two calculated with 0.3 to 0.5 and 0.8 to 1.2, we're going to fill in the rest with your carbs. This is going to fuel your workouts, improve your recovery, give you more daily energy. And with all of these macronutrients, we're going to prioritize getting those macronutrients in through whole foods, while also following the 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule is 80% of the food you eat is mostly whole foods, good foods for you. 20% of the foods you eat are the foods you can slack on a little bit and enjoy a little bit. And with all that, we're going to be tracking it through, MyFitnessPal, Coach Catalyst, obviously progress pictures, and then accountability check-ins and all that stuff. Phase 2 would be implementing the training. Train with a purpose. The main objective, obviously, is to build muscle while maximizing fat loss. Use food as fuel, like we were just talking about, to build muscle through progressive overload. Find a training split that works around your schedule, whether you work out 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week. We can find the best training split that works around your schedule. And then with that, like I said, we're going to implement progressive overload. Increase the weight, reps, or performance over time. That's how you build muscle. Actually start tracking your reps or weights used while those exercises that you're doing in your workout split. Like I said again, train with intensity. Prioritize quality over quantity. If you're doing 50 reps that aren't good reps, it's going to do nothing for you. But if you can do 8 to 10 reps with good intensity, close to failure, that's when you're going to gain the most. Obviously, we're going to be focusing on proper form before increasing weight. I'll be getting feedback videos as well as videos of me doing my own workouts so you can see exactly how to do it. And if you are doing it wrong, I can tell you how to do it better and perfect your form, basically. And then phase 3, and the last phase, is basically just refine and master the first 2 phases. So for training, add advanced recomposition techniques, introduce more advanced movements, start getting a little bit more into depth in supplements and recovery that can help with your training and recovery. Do a few more exercises that are going to gain you an extra percentage of muscle. I mean, nothing crazy. It's, you might gain an extra 5% of muscle on some things. And then for the nutrition wise, there's some things like calorie banking. Eat less calories if you know you're going to be having a high calorie day coming up. Some people like to do that. I've done it before, and it works out pretty good. If you can eat a few hundred less calories throughout the week, and then you have something coming up on the weekend, you can do that. And then meal timing and optimization. There's a thing called insulin resistance. If you can have your meals at the perfect timing to where your insulin doesn't spike as much, So get into stuff like that, get into more high fiber foods to stabilize your blood sugar levels, all that stuff, and obviously maintain the zero point 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. And then once you've been doing it for long enough, you can actually start eating at maintenance without tracking as much, because you're going to know what foods have what amount of protein, fat, carbs, calories, all that stuff. That's kind of the end goal. Once you reach that goal of being lean, it's much easier to stay lean than it is to get there. So once you get to that point, then we'll start working on some other things. One thing I try to show all of my clients is hormonal optimization. I mean, it's super important to be having your hormones in an optimal range. Basically, just start introducing certain lifestyles and habits that help optimize stuff like testosterone, IGF-1, thyroid, which basically controls your metabolism. You know, it's just like sun exposure, grounding, low stress can have a huge impact on your hormonal levels. Now, this is just a list of basically you choosing your hard. You know, having heart problems is hard. Having low energy every day is hard. Struggling to play with your kids because you're exhausted is hard. Missing memories because you're embarrassed to be in the picture is hard. Feeling insecure every time you look in the mirror is hard. High blood pressure / cholesterol is hard. Walking up a flight of stairs and being out of breath is hard. Waking up every morning with no energy is hard. There's an endless list of hards that comes with neglecting your health. Life doesn't get easier. You just get to choose which hard you're willing to live with. Eat somewhat clean and exercise, or deal with endless health problems. And all of those reasons are exactly why I created the Elevate program. I want people to be able to live long. I want people to be able to spend time with their kids. I want people to be able to do things that they love and have energy to do those things. That is my main goal here, is to help you have the best quality of life possible. This is just kind of an insider of my coaching app where I could see how much food you ate that day. This is the food of one of my clients. Their calories is actually pretty low for this day, but I can see how many calories you have, protein, carbs, fats. I can see what you do it and when you do it. If you don't do it, it's red. If you do it, it's green. You'll have your diet plan, all of that stuff in here. You'll have your weekly check-in call. You'll have your weekly check-in form right here. These are some habits. I haven't finished the bottom half of his. I just started working on this a week ago. But, you know, we track your weight here. Hopefully it's going to be looking like this. If you're trying to lose weight, kind of progressively going down. Here's another tracking your weight. Here's me tracking your sleep, because I think sleep is very important for reaching whether it's fat loss goals or muscle gain goals. We try to track everything. We try to have good structure in life. We try to have a good plan so that we can stick to your workout plan and your training plan. Basically, I give you all of the tools you would ever need to get to your goal physique. But yeah, if this is something you think would help you get to your goal physique, help you be a healthier person, help you demand respect when walking into a room, help you reach your goal physique, help you be a healthier person, help you be there for your family longer, DM me Elevate for one-on-one coaching. My Instagram is coach_Ty Sparks, and hopefully we can elevate your body and elevate your life.